Welcome back to BlessedShadows. Today we're doing a full face in just Wet n Wild products for this fantasy look. Here on BlessedShadows, we talk about fantasy makeup and cosplay makeup, especially those suited for photography. As always, drop a like, make that bell sing, and hit that subscribe button. That way you know each time a new video drops. Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a look completely in Wet n Wild products. So I'm going to start with the Rose Primer Serum. Very smooth. Does feel a little tacky, which I do like. It should help grip that makeup. The thing I love most about Wet n Wild is that it is cruelty-free. And even these days, I feel like it's hard to actually get that from brands. Even though not testing on animals seems pretty simple, easy to do. A lot of companies just don't do it, so I do appreciate Wet n Wild for having really good products and they're cruelty-free. And as you can see, I have some acne today, so I am looking forward to seeing how I can cover that up with just Wet n Wild concealer, since I don't have my NYX green concealer to use. Gonna do foundation in my eyebrows because I'm gonna be covering those up. Not full drag queen style, I'm just going to lighten them up a little bit with the foundation and concealer. I really do love Wet n Wild foundation, it goes on really smooth. And with the concealer. And I'm just going to use my foundation brush because I am missing my concealer brush today. And that's giving me pretty good coverage as well. And I'm going to dip into the Pac-Man palette, and I'm going to use that hot pink and the red for a blush today. Just going to dab that on. We're doing another very pink look. I am piggybacking on my last video because this one is also more of a haul video, since last time I was showing all the different brands I got. This one's just focusing on Wet n Wild. And I'm gonna dip into this red, an extra highlight. The eyeshadow doesn't blend quite as well as actual blush does, but I do really like it. I feel like it's sticking really well. And it's going on very smoothly. I'm going to go into the eyes with the pink. And I'm going to dab with the Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush, because as much as I love these brushes, when I'm swooping, I feel like I keep flicking color onto the inside of my nose. And I don't so much love that look, so I'm just more dabbing it in today. I really do love this Pac-Man palette. I feel like the colors are really vibrant. Even though I haven't dipped into every single color, I think I've used the yellow, the red, and the pink, and not the yellow, the pink, the red, and the orange. And it is really opaque, and I really, really appreciate that in my brighter colors. I'm never usually going for just a translucent look. I'm gonna dip into this lovely rose from Wet n Wild, into the darker one for a bit of shade. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna add a subtle eye bag. That is lovely. And I'm going to go in with my finger and add some of that shimmer into the inner corner. It's a little dark, and that's okay. It looks like it's I don't know what you'd call it, a transition shade. I think it's gonna look different depending on the light you're in, but that's all right. Not my favorite I'm not a big fan of transition fades, but that's all right. I'm gonna get into this lighter pink just to add a little more of a light shimmer in there. This one's actually meant for the brow bone. I'm just gonna plop it onto my inner corner. There we go. Some brightness back. I'm gonna go back into my Pac-Man palette and add just a little pop of pink into my eyebrow. Just a little touch, we're not going full out today. And into the Wet n Wild brow pomade with this little brush in the cap. Wanted to give that a try. Oh, that goes on very smooth. Brush is a little difficult to use, but I do appreciate that it goes back in the cap for easy storage. Again, it is a little difficult to use. It's kind of hard to tell which angle of the brush you're currently using because it spins so easily. But the pomade itself is excellent. I'm gonna go in with this white eyeliner pencil for the inner corner, add that glow. The only thing I don't like about this pencil is that it is not mechanical. You can't twist it up. You do actually have to shave it down with a pencil sharpener. And I don't know about anyone else, but I am famously terrible at actually getting that to work well. So I guess we'll see how that goes in the future. I'm gonna go in with this multi-stick back into my eyebrows and add a little more of a dramatic color. This one is very opaque, so I do like it a lot. It deposits color really well. And this one is actually mechanical, so you can twist it up. Here we go. Just to add a little more color. Go. And in with some mascara. And this is, again, not a lash building mascara. I'm pretty sure I've seen one from Wet n Wild, but I actually have yet to test that one out. This one's doing okay. It's just not a fiber one, and I do love those fiber mascaras because they do build your lash up quite a bit. And the thing I do appreciate a lot from Wet n Wild is that you can actually find some of their products at Dollar Tree. This mascara, as well as some nail polish and my favored brushes, actually come from Dollar Tree. I love shopping there, especially if you're on a budget, so I do appreciate that you can actually find Wet n Wild products at their locations. And I'm going in with some Wet n Wild eyeliner. And this one is a dip pot eyeliner. I find them a lot easier to work with. So I do appreciate that Wet n Wild has different formulas and forms of eyeliner available. Makes it a little bit easier to draw things on. Now I'm putting on quite a thick lash line today because I'm going to try and replace the falsies I've been using since I don't have any false eyelashes from Wet n Wild. I honestly don't know if they actually make any falsies, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. I'm going to exaggerate that wing. Bring it up a little bit further. And while that dries a little more, I'm actually going to go into this glitter palette from Wet n Wild. It is seasonal. I believe it only drops around Halloween, which explains why there's not actually that much glitter or pigment in these palettes. I feel like it's a one look and done look. you're not going to have much for a ton of looks. So for glitters, I do actually recommend the Slayfire Cosmetics or Eco Stardust glitter. They are biodegradable and they come in much bigger pots with a lot more glitter to work with. And so far it's not moving my makeup around too much, which I greatly appreciate. I'm going to go on my eyebrows again with another multi-stick. This one is pink, just to see if I can add a little more brightness into those brows since I didn't really cover them today. I'm going to use the Pro Line eyeliner to add some freckles. I really do like this felt tip pen. I do have concerns about how long it'll last because I feel like as they do pick up pigments and powders, they do start to dry out a bit quickly, so I'm looking forward to seeing how long this one lasts me. I'm actually going to add an inner corner today. Just to connect and add a bit of a feline cat eye. And I'm going to use the matte finish setting spray to set this real quick. And while that dries, I'm going to get into the liquid Catsuit lipstick. And it is a bit dark, so I'm going to go over it with a liquid Catsuit in a lighter pink. A little bit too bright. I'm not a fan of actually figuring out what shade of lipstick suits me. I did find my perfect shade in Maybelline. I have not found my perfect shade in Wet n Wild. So let's try this berry one and see how that goes. There we go. That's a lot better. I got a huge set of the liquid Catsuit. I feel like shades are really hard to match with lipsticks, so I'm not a fan of the actual tin of all of these. There's a Jordana in there, ignore that. But I'm not a big fan of getting tin sets because you can't actually match your shade, which is why I went through 3-4 lipsticks to find one that is suitable. So I do recommend matching your color. For instance, I found one in Maybelline. I'm best to just go in the store with my Maybelline and see which Wet n Wild shade matches. I'm using what I have. I already did a haul. I don't want to actually add to that. I want to stay on budget, so I'm using what I have. But I do highly recommend color matching and not buying big sets of lipsticks. And I do like this matte finish spray. I do feel like it's a little bit shiny, so I do wish that I did have a translucent powder from Wet n Wild just to dust over this. But since we are finished with our Wet n Wild haul, let's go ahead and get to hair and headdress. Alright, here's the finished look. As you can see, I have my wings and my headdress on. I think this look came out pretty well. What do you guys think? How do you feel about Wet n Wild? I feel like as a cohesive look, it doesn't translate as bright on camera as it does here in person. It is a little brighter in person and quite a bit more subdued on camera, so I didn't get it quite as bright as I normally would like. I feel like some other brands might do that a little bit better, or maybe I just need to go a little bit more heavy-handed on it. Not quite certain there. I do feel like the finish came out really well. I think the pot liquid eyeliner I absolutely love because it makes it really easy to make those dramatic wings that can imitate false lashes. Since Wet n Wild, since I don't have any Wet n Wild ones, I honestly don't know if Wet n Wild makes false lashes. I look forward to getting some if they do. But what do you think? Freckles came out pretty well. They're pretty visible from camera. I do like that felt tip liner. As again, this was all done with 100% Wet n Wild cruelty-free products. Go ahead and leave some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see next time. As always, drop a like, make that bell sing, and hit that subscribe button. That way you know each time a new video drops. And as always, thank you for joining us at BlessedShadows. Bye.